Hi, my friends. Listen, I'm gonna apologize right away because it's going to be a little noisy. I'm actually on a date. I can't believe it, but I have Kevin here today. You know, he don't like to do the whole social media thing, but say hi, babe. Hello. How's everybody? So he's gonna be hanging out with me today. And today is, well, welcome, first of all, to the Radiant Rap. And this is where I just come on at 5 o'clock on Thursdays and talk about everything that comes to my heart and mind that has to do with being healthy and whole. And Radiant being an acronym for rest, activity awareness, diet, introspection. Hey, Daryl. Daryl Ruffin said hi. He is being such a good sport, Daryl, because you know he don't like to do the whole social media thing. So he's being a really good sport. And again, I apologize for the noise. Um, the Radiant stands for rest. Activity awareness is the A. D for diet. I for introspection. That includes prayer, meditation. And then the other A is agua. The N is note taking or journaling. And the T is training, and that's that physical activity. Last week, I had guests too, and we talked about suicide prevention. It is Black History Month. It is the month where we celebrate love and stuff like that. So, and it is Heart Health Month. So today, the part one of Heart Matters. Hey, Latanya. How are you, Tanya? She said, hi, lovebirds. That's Andre's wife, Pastor Andre's wife. So, yeah, last week was pretty serious. It was pretty awesome, pretty raw. Deirdre said hi. He said, hello, Mrs. Polk. You're going to have to speak up maybe for them to hear you. And so last week we spoke a little bit about suicide because there were two high-profile people within the community that committed suicide. So it was a really good time to talk about it. You can go back and look at that replay. My sister and my god sister, both who are involved in mentoring and different are leading different initiatives for suicide prevention. So this week, since Valentine's Day is Monday, look, we kind of older, right? So we don't need to go out on Monday with all the jacked up prices and the long lines, and they're rushing to get you out. So we said, well, let's go out today because one of our friends, our little friends that's in high school, has a basketball game. So let's go get something to eat, right, babe? That's right. Let's go get something to eat, and then we'll go to the basketball game. So we're at one of my favorite places, Italian restaurants in Hyde Park. So that's hence the noise. We're outside at Bella's. They have a vegano menu, so I can select some really good Italian food. So in honor of Black History Month, what I wanted to share, babe, is how we met. Now,
okay. That's funny. Okay.
No, he's saying it's funny because our stories of how we met, there's a little bit of conflict in the stories. His is based on fantasy, and mine
yeah, right.
Mine is based on reality. So you hear him tell it. Me and my best friend Jill, we were in Philly. All of us were in Philly. Kevin was still at University of Penn. I had already graduated from Rutgers. We were actually both working in the same building for the same company. We were both working for IBM. And those of you who've known Kevin over the last 20 years, even like if you attend church, you will not believe this. When I met Kevin, Kevin wore a suit every day. Kevin wore a suit.
I'm wearing one now.
Kevin wore a suit I never saw Kevin without suits on unless he was playing basketball. Every day he went to work, he wore a suit for 20 years.
Yeah,
20 years probably. So anyways, that just tells you how long we've been married, because you ain't seen him in a suit in 20 years. So we've been together almost by dating and married. We've been married 34 years this year. We dated for about 4, so about 38 years, right? And so the way he tells the story, his best friend, or one of his really good friends, saw me and my best friend. They were like, "Yo, that's us, man."
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, right. So my best friend started dating his friend. And I said, "Look, this isn't going to happen because that's corny. You know, just because your best friends date my best friend doesn't mean that we date." A year went by. Kevin was just a perfect gentleman. He probably was in love with me the whole time, but he pretended that he wasn't. And so eventually, me asking him, he was seeing other girls and stuff like that, and I didn't care until one day I did. So, anyways, that started the whole thing. Fast forward 34 years later, I just want to give a shout out to all of those of you who are married and hung in there. I think that it's also interesting, and I love how God does this, that our church, for Bible study, we're also in studying Luke. It just so happened that because we've been studying Luke for a while, Bible study and the sermons, but on Bible study, we're in Luke 6. And so last night we were talking about love. So it just aligned with, February being, the month where we celebrate love and all this stuff. But the definition and the meaning that Jesus has for us loving others is different than this worldly view of love. So that's why I want to give a shout out to all those that have been married a really long time. And it's not what I'm saying. It's not, a bus just went by. See, there's a street right there. That's why it's noisy. It takes perseverance, and it takes a lot of work. Marriage, right?
Absolutely. It takes a lot of work, a lot of patience. And the thing is you have to accept each other for who you are at some point. Because I love you, you know that, and she loves me, and that's really all that matters. You're going to go through ups and downs throughout the whole process, but as long as you know that there's a reason that she originally made you laugh, made you smile, made you cry, all those things about everything. And, when you share that kind of emotion and those deep feelings with each other, I mean, that's just so special, right?
It is special. And that is special. Thank you, baby. But it's not always like that. So I think that what I really wanted to share is that whether it is a relationship between a husband and wife, whether it's relationships with people in your home, in your community, right? That it's more than just an emotion, right? What's love got to do with it? It's more than just an emotion, because and I have to tell you the truth, this is something I've been struggling with over the past several years. When people tell me they're getting married, or when I see on Facebook someone's getting married, I really want to say, are you sure? Like, I want to ask them, did you, do the work? Do you understand that it's not really going to be all about you, that all your needs are not going to be met, that there's going to be struggles? Like, are you prepared for what it really takes to be married? And the more marriages that I see, I mean, just like this, they're they're over before they get started. And so we're congratulating everyone for getting engaged, but and out of love, not out of being nosy. And that's why I don't say it, because it's really not any of my business. And how do you do that? But I just think more of us should play a bigger role in find like why are you getting married? I mean, because we're such a selfish people. And so what I'm saying, it doesn't just apply to even the covenant of marriage is the deepest relationship, but any relationships. It's not just about us, and that's what we were talking about in Bible study. So I had three things that I wanted to share, right? Whether it's with your coworkers, people in your home, your family, your community. Three things that I feel like, and really are based on scripture and the word, that we need to do to be healthy and whole. Because guess what? You could have all the money in the world, right? And we see this, and be miserable and be unhappy, right? So we have to, one, in terms of heart matters and really loving one another, we have to be forgiving. We have to be willing to forgive, willing to let go. And that can be difficult. And that's something that, like Kevin and I, we work on. That's, any relationships, if it's going to be a real relationship.
Denise.
Oh, Denise is back. So I may pause for a moment. You can see my food. Okay, so this, oh, looks so good. So I'm not eating that right now. I'm going to have that taken away. So that's a vegan pizza, and I'll take a picture of it. And that was vegan ziti. So this is going to actually, baby, you going to eat a piece of that right now, or are we going to take it to go? Okay. So you can put it on the other side of the table. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So a couple of things, and then I'm going to eat. Yeah, I know, Tanya. It's so good. This is my steak. Okay. So Kevin wants to tell you that his is not vegan. His is not vegan, right? With a whole bunch of cheese on it.
Shrimp and veggies.
But shrimp and veggies. Good job, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So yes, to be healthy and whole, and to love for real. Miss Sheila said, "Don't we look cute?" And she said, "Hi."
Hello.
We have to be willing to forgive and let go. So if you're holding on, that's only hurting you, right? And you cannot be healthy and whole if you're unwilling to forgive. And that's easier said than done. I understand that. I'm not saying that it's easy. Oh, and I love that pastor last night, he said this, that when God is talking about these things, he's not, or Jesus is actually talking about these things, he's not saying that we need to stay in relationships and be abused. That's not what the message is. Okay, so let me just say that real quick. And then number two, we have to be willing to, we have to be willing to not to give. We have to be willing to give of ourselves without always expecting something in return. We have to be, and I know, like, even I surprise people all the time on social media. I mean, I'm almost 60 years old, so I have matured a bit, but that doesn't mean, you could be 60 and haven't matured, right? So I just thank God for my growth, but I'm able to give and reach out and not have an expectation. So you don't have to dodge me or anything like that. I'm serious. You don't, because whether whatever is meant for our relationship or our connection to be, that is what it is. We have to be willing to forgive. That's one of the things I love about Kevin. I have to hurry up so he can eat. You want to say grace so you can start, or you gonna wait? Okay. Because he's so kind and he's so willing to give. And I have to sometimes, like with our kids, I have to tell them, look, no, you're being too nice right now. Okay, no, let them figure it out. But we have to give without always expecting something in return. And then the third thing is that I believe we must want to wait to speak. Want to wait to speak. Listen more. What's the old adage? This is one, Penny. He's probably thinking, yeah, she needs to work on that one. I am. I'm working on it. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth. We must listen twice as much. Want to wait to speak and want to listen. Okay, so those are the 3 things I feel like we need to be healthy and whole and to love for real. Willing to forgive, give without expectation, and want to wait to speak. All right, you got anything you want to add to that, baby?
No.
All right, we're going to eat now.
Namaste.
Love you. Nothing you can do about it. You have greatness inside of you. I believe in you. Ma.
Everybody.